Grogu has went from a nice addition to the Star Wars universe to a crutch for Disney Star Wars, having rippling effects to this day, where a father figure finds a young character they have to take care of. You look at the Bad Batch, you look at Kenobi, you look at Maul, and you could argue that it could be necessary for the story. I think Kenobi is the worst offender of all of these. With Kenobi, you could take Leia out of the story completely and it would only improve the show. It feels like Disney found a format that worked with The Mandalorian, so they thought that it would work with almost every other Disney Star Wars show, and it just doesn't. The format also just gets old. And then you have the Book of Boba Fett, where one episode Boba Fett isn't even in his own series, and then the next episode he cameos at the end of it. 2 episodes of a 7-episode TV show are dedicated to Grogu and his backstory and training with Luke. This should have been what the next season of Mandalorian was. This should have been what the movie was about. Imagine how much better the movie would be if there was actually plot and substance. Book of Boba Fett has more plot and substance to the character of Grogu than his entire 2-hour movie he just got. We're shafting other characters just to make room for Grogu, just so Grogu can be in the exact same position he was in before he left with Luke, undermining that entire scene. And this is my biggest problem with Grogu. We are 3 seasons and a movie into the character of Grogu, and how much has he really developed? He's still making baby noises. He's still looking all cute. That's like the only thing he's used for. He's used as a plot device to sell merchandise rather than being an actual character. Take someone like Ahsoka, a Clone Wars movie in 3 seasons, and you could see how much she developed as a character. She goes from this naive Padawan that's annoying as all hell to being her own character within the span of 3 seasons. She's out here taking control of situations, being a leader, and you see her combat experience and just her experience as a character grow overall, and you cannot say the same as Grogu in that exact same time frame. And this is the one time where I can say that the 8-episode format isn't the problem here, because Grogu is in almost every single episode of The Mandalorian. He is the main focus of Mandalorian. Ahsoka is not the main focus of the Clone Wars. There's many arcs where Ahsoka's not even involved into it, or she's just simply a cameo. And where's Grogu at from the start of Mandalorian to the end of his own movie? He's building a shelter. Congratulations, he's 50 years old. He uses the Force sometimes, and that's about it. He's really showing no true development as a character. Again, he's still making baby noises because they have to sell merchandise, because that's the only thing Grogu is good for, is selling merchandise. That is it. And once they lose that appeal, Grogu's useless. I can almost guarantee you Grogu will not speak a lick of English for the next 5 years. And it is just so annoying that we're handicapping a character this much just so that way they could sell merchandise, because that's the only way Star Wars is profitable at this point. When the entire conclusion of the Skywalker saga can't even break $1 billion at the box office, when arguably was the strongest it's ever been at in 2019, it really speaks volume to the brand of Star Wars. So then they just have to rely on Grogu. Grogu is the ultimate crutch because they know Grogu sells a ton of merchandise. Look at how much merchandise is out for The Mandalorian and Grogu. Look at how much collabs. Look at how heavy the marketing is. And it's still barely gonna break even at the box office. The Mandalorian really should have ended at the end of season 2. Grogu finds out about his heritage, he's returned properly to his people, and Luke is there to train him to become an actual Jedi. It's an emotional send-off and leaves a good open ending for the character of Grogu. But instead, you have to watch the Book of Boba Fett to understand Grogu's backstory and his training with Luke, and then he gets sent back to the Mandalorian. They couldn't even bother to put this stuff in his own show. Instead, they just have to open up season 3 with Mandalorian and Grogu together again, nearly in the exact same position they have been in for the entire series. And the worst part is that Grogu isn't even important in season 3. They could have kept Grogu with Luke that entire time. Mandalorian could have dealt with Bo-Katan and the Empire in Mandalore all by himself. Grogu did not need to be a part of that, and then they could have used the movie to explain what happened with Grogu and Luke. And have the movie actually be an interesting concept and have an interesting storyline, not with whatever slop we just got. Ultimately, it's just annoying that Grogu is not allowed to become his own character, and instead he's just used as a device to sell merchandise. You're able to look cool, you're able to look cute while being an actual character and having meaningful development. Instead, Disney just wants to continue treating him like a baby, even though in universe it is starting to get a little odd that he's almost 60 years old at this point and he's still making baby noises. And I feel like it almost takes away from the character of Yoda. Like, this is how the species ages. Like, when Yoda was 60, 80 years old, he was still making baby noises and acting like a toddler. At this point, I wouldn't be surprised if they just skip Grogu's teenage years eventually when they do decide to age him and just make him like 100, 200 years old, where he's already wise and experienced. However, for the foreseeable future, with Grogu and Mandalorian, I don't see Grogu being anything more than Din's child he has to take care of. I don't see him becoming independent. I don't see him growing in any meaningful way. He's still gonna be making baby noises. He's still gonna be acting like a kid because, oh, that's cute. Oh, it's Baby Yoda. I'm gonna go buy my own Baby Yoda. And know, at the end of the day, you just have to kind of accept it because that's just how Star Wars is right now. And the Star Wars franchise as a whole is just plummeting. It's going to continue to plummet, but as long as they can make money from it right now, that's all that matters. Instead of telling actual meaningful stories that could last generations, such as the original Star Wars trilogy and the prequels. Anyway, what do you guys think? Do you think Grogu is being held back just due to being able to sell merchandise? Do you think Grogu's development has been fine over the past few years? Let me know in the comments down below. If you found anything entertaining about this video, please consider subscribing, and I will see you guys in the next one.